Is your boy NCSO7 here doing another tier list. So today we are going to be ranking the Nintendo systems. This pretty much is all the Nintendo systems, no hardware revisions. And yeah, both console and handheld. And I'm going to be ranking these pretty much based on what I thought of, basically like the games, like just, I don't know, like games, how good they were, graphics and all that stuff. So, yeah, let's start this off with probably the easiest one to get out of the way. Yeah. It's so easy to hate on the Virtual Boy. Like, I mean, I'll be honest, I don't actually own a Virtual Boy. I don't have that kind of money. But I have used one before. I've played, I believe the only Virtual Boy game I've ever played was Wario Land, and I believe a little Mario's Tennis at gaming conventions. And it's not actually too bad. Like, it's very easy to hate on this thing. I mean, it barely had that many games. It didn't even have many third-party games outside of Japan. Too much money, and just Red and Black just, I don't know, didn't really look that great. I don't know. But it's not a terrible system. Like, it's kind of the system where it's just like, it's bad, but there can still be fun had with it. I don't know. It's definitely a big failure. Only system out of all these to really flop, and for good reason. And the games for it are pretty subpar, so I don't really have much to say otherwise. Wii. Oof. Actually, I will let my nostalgia cloud my vision. I really do like the Wii. Like, I don't think the Wii is the best, but I think it was one of the better things for Nintendo. It kind of got them, like, making new stuff. Like, yes, it did have the whole motion control fest, and many people probably don't like them. But the thing is, you can't deny that Wii Sports was a big deal, as well as some of the other Wii Play games. And then you got games like Super Mario Galaxy, Twilight Princess, Skyward Sword, Metroid Prime 3, Kirby's Return to Dreamland, Kirby's Epic Yarn, and just so many great games that were just on the Wii in general. Yeah, and I just like the Wii. I did grow up with it, so I am going to let my nostalgia blind me for just this once, and I'm going to just put it in A tier. I guess I may as well get the systems that I don't have a lot to say about, or have a lot to say, so Game Boy. Honestly, I've never been, like, I don't hate the Game Boy, like, as much as, like, the Virtual Boy, because the Game Boy actually had games, and had some better, like, more perks, but I don't know, the Game Boy just never was that interesting. Honestly, the Game Boy's library was really hit or miss. Even when it came to, like, the first-party games, like, you had Link's Awakening, which was a pretty good game, and then you had Super Mario Land, which, well, cool in a way. I wouldn't ever really say that Super Mario Land was ever really that great of a game. There was Tetris, which, sure, but I don't know. Looking back at, like, the Game Boy, I don't really know. It's just, I don't really see a lot. Like, I guess there's Pokemon, but, like, I'm not a Pokemon person, so yeah, and this is still completely based on my opinion, so yeah, I don't really like the Game Boy that much. I don't hate it. There are some good stuff on there, but I really don't look at this console with that much enjoyment. I don't know. Let's see. Wow, there are just so many interesting ones. I guess I'll do Game Boy Color next. Okay, next. Okay, anyway, sorry. Game Boy Color. I don't really know what to say. Like, it has the problem. Like, I think something that I forgot to mention with the Game Boy that also applies to the Game Boy Color, is the lack of a backlit screen. I do not like that one single bit. It's one of those things that I really do not understand, because even like I believe the Game Gear from like 1990 had a game like a backlight, and it's not present in the Game Boy Color. Hell, there was even a Game Boy Light that came out the same year that had a backlight. That was the whole point of it. I don't understand, honestly. And the Game Boy Color's library is just very kind of like the Game Boy's, kind of hit or miss. Although it isn't as bad, in my opinion. We got a lot of handhelds out of the way. Let's get some more consoles out of the way. Let's do Super Nintendo. Oh, jeez, what to even do about this one? I don't know. It's very difficult. You know what? To give it to the benefit of the doubt, I will put it in A tier. Now, the Super Nintendo. Very good system. It has some of the better games, but the real thing that made me debate whether I'm putting it at an A or B is that I haven't played that many SNES titles. Even though I don't know, I'll leave it in A tier because the SNES really did a good job at perfecting what the NES did. It really did a much better job with its games. The games felt much more refined, and there were just more games in general that were just good. So, yeah, I'll leave it in like an A tier, and it has like the games like Super Mario World, Donkey Kong Country, Super Metroid, Link to the Past, Earthbound. So many great games that appeared on this thing. Sure, yeah. Overall, pretty good system. I'll leave it in A. GameCube. Okay. I'm gonna put GameCube in A tier. Now, the only reason why the GameCube is in an A tier, actually, I'll move it like over here. So like GameCube is like the higher part of the A tier. Like, it's not necessarily an S tier, but I'll leave it at the A tier. And the reason for that is that GameCube is probably one of the most important Nintendo systems ever. A lot of people have said before that the GameCube is like the best Nintendo system ever. I personally do stand by that in like a certain way. I do believe it has the best first-party support, and just overall the best first-party games for Nintendo. It had a lot of its own feel. It had a lot of great games. The only issue is that I don't really play the GameCube that much, which is kind of strange because even though I have a good amount of GameCube games, I have a good amount of the popular first-party titles. I actually do not play the GameCube that much, mainly because of the fact that I don't really have an easy way to play it. Also, I don't have a working memory card anymore. So, yeah, but overall, the GameCube is a really good system. It wasn't able to really play DVDs, which, I'll be honest, I don't really think, even if the GameCube was able to play DVDs, like the normal model, I don't really think it would have sold the best anyways. The PlayStation 2 sold super well, but then the original Xbox didn't, sold a little better than GameCube, I don't know. But I'm getting really off topic. But GameCube, pretty good. N64. I'm going to put that there. I'm going to put N64 in a B tier because similar to the SNES and some of these other systems, I haven't played that many N64 games. I believe I played Mario 64, Mario Kart 64, the original Smash Brothers, Kirby 64, and Paper Mario. I believe those are the only N64 games I've played. Yeah. I think I played a few more, but those are the only ones I really remember playing. And I like it. The N64 really is good, but I will say it's definitely not the best. The controller is kind of weird. The third-party support was really poor on N64 because of the fact that it used cartridges. And many of the games just don't age well nowadays. As great as Mario 64 is, I do not think that the game has aged that well, at all. At least graphically and control-wise. But otherwise, it's a pretty good system. Really good regardless. Let's just get Wii U out of the way. Okay. I'll put Wii U at the same place as N64. Wii U, honestly, as many people will say that it's a failure and all that stuff. While yes, I do understand that it wasn't Nintendo at their best, I think Nintendo did a lot of good things with the Wii U. I think the Wii U definitely had a lot of good games. In fact, I'd say it really did kind of feel like the games that were there wasn't a lot of games there, like compared to the GameCube and like the SNES, but like it definitely had a good amount of games there. And it had definitely some really good quality with many of their games. Super Mario 3D World, Wind Waker HD, Mario Kart 8, Smash Bros. For Wii U, Splatoon, Super Mario Maker, Animal Crossing Amiibo Festival, all of those games. It's so many, like it had a lot of mediocre and you could say bad games. Although to be honest, I do feel like the whole gamepad part of the Wii U was gimmicky. I do feel it was pretty unnecessary, but I don't know. It does give it its own feel, but overall the Wii U, pretty good system. I definitely like it. Game Boy Advance. Sure. I kind of have a similar problem with like these other two systems where I just haven't played that many GBA titles. But Game Boy Advance is definitely my favorite out of like the Game Boy line because of the fact that it has the best looking games and also has a really big library of games. Even though there are a lot of like re-releases and ports, honestly, like for the time, it definitely seems really cool. Even though I wasn't really around for it since I was barely even around. I was still a baby when this thing was being made, but really good system. Yeah, definitely one of the more underrated like Nintendo systems. Hope to play more games in the future, but I'm not really certain on that. NES. Where should I put this? Where should I do this? I'll put NES in C tier. You know what? I'll put this in a high C tier. So NES, like yes, it revolutionized gaming and all that stuff, but I don't really know about the NES. The NES is like that system where it's just like, it has good games for it, but I do feel like a lot of the games don't age the best. Either that or they're just kind of bad in the first place. Like, the amount of LGN titles on the NES is truly astounding. And like games like Super Mario Bros. And Legend of Zelda, while they are classics, I wouldn't really say that they're the best games out there. Like, they definitely have aged a lot, and I wouldn't really say they've aged that well, honestly. But you have games like Mario 2, Mario 3, Metroid, and all this stuff. It's alright, but it's not good enough to get itself into like a B tier. So, yeah. DS. I'll put DS in B tier. Again, I haven't really played that many DS titles, but the ones I have played, really solid. Really good system. Although I haven't really played a lot of DS titles, but many of them are very good. I kind of like the idea of the DS where it had like two screens and a touch screen. Definitely very interesting. Really cool, and yeah, I think it was one of the best Nintendo handhelds that has been made. But I honestly do think that this one is a little better. The 3DS, I love the 3DS. It's the first Nintendo system that I owned. I played the hell out of this thing until the Switch came out, which we'll get to that later. But the 3DS is really solid. Probably like one of the better Nintendo system, like handheld systems. It had a lot of great support, a lot of great games. The games look beautiful on that thing. The 3D was kind of existent, but it was still really cool regardless, and just so like really cool. Yeah, love the 3DS. And then of course we've got the Switch. S tier. This is my opinion. You may not necessarily think like the Switch that much, but I love the Switch. It is my favorite system of all time. Just the idea of being like the whole concept of the Switch, being able to play it wherever you want without any restrictions. That is so cool. It has beautiful graphics, and the third-party support is actually, I'd say, the best out of all of these systems. Maybe like ever since like the NES and the SNES era, this probably had the best third-party support and the first-party titles. Well, While yes, not all the first-party titles are home runs, there's definitely some misses in there. Kirby Star Allies, Mario Tennis Aces, and Super Mario Party, and stuff like that, which definitely are misses. But then you have games like Breath of the Wild, Mario Kart 8 Deluxe, Super Mario Odyssey, Splatoon 2, Mario & Rabbids Kingdom Battle, Super Smash Bros. Ultimate, Mario Maker 2, Animal Crossing New Horizons, Luigi's Mansion 3, so many good games. So many great games. And games that you can play anywhere. Console experience is on the go. You can't really do that with many other systems. But anyways, yeah, that is my tier list. I pretty much agree with this tier list. So, hope you guys enjoyed this video. Let me know if you guys agree with this list, or if you beg to differ. Maybe you guys love the Virtual Boy and the Game Boy a lot. But I don't know. But anyways, I will see you guys in the next video. Peace out, and please have a good day.
It's showtime! Did you enjoy the show? Well, time for the highlight.